I'm sitting at Place Gabriel Perth, looking at Saint-Baudile Church. Just had a sandwich. Just an excellent baguette with wheat bread, which was really nice. And chicken, which is for some reason not all that easily found. From the side, the flying buttresses, or buttresses rather, not really flying. This is that right side, a little bit closer in. Wander down this road and see where that goes. I was trying to find the observatory at the northeast end of town, but couldn't find it. Instead, I found a windmill. Don't know anything about it. Don't know its age. Don't know anything. But here in Nîmes, in this part of Nîmes, and so often in Nîmes, are these parks. Good park for kids. Got lots of big toys to play with. But also places to walk and just sit and relax, contemplate. Just looking in this direction to get a little sense of where the population lives. These are big complexes of what look like apartment units. This is the Cathedral Notre Dame of Nîmes. On the outside, rather blocky looking design, except for that frieze, which is very Greco-Roman, I suppose, is what you'd say. This is the Musée du Vieux Nîmes, which I think means the Museum of Old. While I was unable to videotape anything in there, they had some very interesting things. One was a triple-size, three-compartment antique bird cage that was about probably about 2 feet wide, about 2.5, 3 feet high, about 4 feet wide. They had a display and a movie on denim. Levi Strauss's denim, which is made out of what's called serge, which he discovered here in France, and that's what he used for the Levi's, and that started that whole rage. And they had all of the famous, a lot of the famous movie stars, Gable, Dean, Brando, etc., and Marilyn Monroe, who had in one of their roles or more, including John Wayne, of course, used jeans. They also had a display of the actual extremely fine needlework done to create the magnificent patterns on the clothing that the wealthy wore. Normally we just see the drawings in an old-fashioned book, or it looks like old-fashioned, and that is very much bad black and white compared to the exuberant color of the actual work. Apparently some significant construction going on here near the museum or alongside of it, or maybe even up on top of it. That's why the second floor was probably closed, I guess. Don't know what that construction back there is. Constructing here is kind of hard because everything is so narrow, so congested. This is the side of the church, the Cathedral Notre Dame. Again, not terribly impressive architecturally. The inside is quite dark, as cathedrals go. Good example of the closeness of streets. This is just a little plaza. Actually, it's just an intersection of a bunch of streets.
Nee, daar zijn we binnen geweest, maar dat was het niet.
Don't ask, I don't know why this is here. It's cute, a hell of a surprise if you don't know it's coming and you're standing at it. St. Paul's Cathedral. A bit closer view. It's amazing to me that people would damage stained glass windows in a church. Notice how nicely painted these are. Very tastefully in the cloister area. The ceiling's painted that whiter color, gives it more light in here too. The closer you get to the apse, I think that's what that's called, the darker it gets. After all, after you've seen about 50 of these, they all seem to look the same, but what they represent is the colossal investment by the society. Here the Stations of the Cross are in sculpture in stone. Jesus hanging on the cross. What I like about this church is the very tasteful and classy use of color. Even unilluminated, it has a rich but not flamboyant look. And so through the other arches, I'm just guessing that this very nice pedestal was also painted, and the statue on it is Joan of Arc. That might be a giant duh. I'll make a loop around the arena just in case there's anything interesting before I go in. Can't tell whether this is restored or original. This area seems a little less damaged or repaired, not sure which, than the rest. Perhaps damaged, perhaps weather related. It's interesting, this stone looks like it's weathered, but on the other hand it looks like it was worked in such a way that the edges were clean and the center was worked. Don't know what this is or what it's a remnant of. Looks like some kind of carving, but I can't tell whether it's carving or just weathering. Okay, we're now out of the tourist area and just out in the neighborhood. Take the most uninteresting road and see what it shows. In other words, an automobile repair station. It uses an impressive self-promotion. Easy to tell when you're there. But you've all noticed the different sizes. And there's some designs on some. I wonder what that does for me. Certainly the ones with the little BBs on top or that kind of configuration would allow you to stop it with a backward spin. I'm now inside the arena at Nîmes, but I will shift to a new tape to do the inside.